Welcome to Go Gettas Podcast Beyond this idea. We're doing anyway. I'm Colby.
And I came as soon as I heard you beat the Pokemon League all over the floor. You can call me Fee.
We were talking about Pokemon before this, and Fee was like bringing up a couple topics about Pokemon, and I was like, yeah, I haven't really played any Pokemon games, and he was surprised to hear that. He was more surprised to hear that the fact that I haven't played many Pokemon games is because after Gen 1, I was too pissed off to play more.
Just so angry, this man. This man just he beat the game. They announced Gold and Silver. They announced there's going to be 150 more, and he's like, "No,
yeah,
you lied to me, fucking Game Freak.
Mm-hmm.
You said there was only 150.
That's right.
We searched for them. You said this is all a Pokemon in the entire world,
Mm-hmm.
and then you bring 150 out of your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Where were they?"
Yeah, exactly. Correct. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, Professor Oak is like, this is your Pokedex. It's got all the Pokemon in it. And, like, you're supposed to go out and catch them. Like, okay, if you think about it, the Pokemon from Gen 1 are also in other generations of Pokemon. There is no Pokemon from outside of Generation 1 that is inside of Gen 1. So that would mean that, canonically, the Kanto region has the fewest, the least diversity of Pokemon of anywhere in the world. And not only that, but they're so fucking stupid and up their own ass that they're like, these are all the Pokemon there are. And I can't live with that. I would much rather be like, there's 150 Pokemon and that's it. Plus Mew, which is the bonus one.
151.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I guess the cartoon, the anime, it's a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
The anime now, I guess, has retconned that because in Kanto they have some newer Pokemons.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. And like, also, I mean, to be fair, episode 1, Ash sees a rare Pokemon that doesn't, like, we don't know what it is. And I was like, it's a flying bird. It must be legendary. It could be Moltres, but it doesn't like have the same outline as them.
Oh, it looked just like Ho-Oh. It was Ho-Oh.
It was Ho-Oh is the thing. But they had to retcon Ho-Oh. They basically made Ho-Oh and then was like, oh yeah, that was in the anime. And you're like, fucking cool. But also, again, why did no one know? Why did no one know what this was? Why, like, how you gonna be like, nah, yeah, we know about like a bunch of the animals in the world. We like, if today somebody told you, yeah, there's a bunch of species of monkeys we don't know about, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably true. But if they were like, we have categorized every species of monkey, I'd be like, okay, cool. And then if 2 years from now they said there's a new monkey, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. No, there's not. We know them all.
So I think where you're getting this wrong, in the beginning spiel with Professor Oak, when before he asks you if you're a boy or a girl, he's asking you to show
Great question.
Your wiener.
Yeah.
He's like, can I see your wiener or your butthole? I have to know to be sure for science. He's a professor after all.
That's right.
While he's asking you those questions, he's giving you this feel. He's like, I'm the Pokemon professor, and people call me Professor Oak. And he's like, these are Pokemon, and he puts like a Pokemon in front of you, and he's like, there's like 150 that we know about, but there's a lot more that maybe we don't. Like he openly says that we only know of 150.
Okay.
And he gives you the knowledge that, hey, even though we know about these 150, maybe there's more that we don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be willing to buy that if phones didn't exist. Motherfucker, there's a whole planet. Professor Oak can talk to other Pokemon professors. They're like, actually, there's this one called Totodile over here. No one ever mentioned that. Professor Oak was just so up his own ass that he's like, no, there's 150 that we know about. If you find more here, because this is the only place Pokemon exists.
Well, okay, so like, I think he knows Professor Elm, right, from Gold. Or like, he knows of him, but like, he's like, man, fuck that guy, that up and comer. He's like trying to steal my thunder. I said there was 150, and this motherfucker finds 150 more.
It doesn't make any sense.
I've only counted 150, as he's like, all the other Pokemon, he's like, you don't fit in this. There's only like 1 gig of RAM in this Pokedex.
There's just like fucking like.
That's what it is. The Pokedex didn't have enough RAM to fit more.
And he just had to pretend. He was like, "No, that's all there are." And they're like, "Are you sure? Are you? There's not like one more? No, couldn't be."
No, as he's pushing Totodile and all the other starters like out the window.
It's like, get the fuck out of here!
God, you're ruining my speech.
I mean, like, imagine that, like Professor Oak like makes the Pokedex, and like there's like a Pokemon Nobel Prize. He's like about to win it, and like the week of the award show, he's like preparing a speech and stuff, and then fucking Professor Elm's like, "Hey, there's actually another 150," and he's like, well, I'm too busy thinking about my speech. Like we'll take a look at this later. And then he shows up at the award show, and they're like, yeah, the award goes to Professor Elm. And like on the like metal, it's like it was engraved with Professor Oak, but you could see somebody scratched it out and put Elm on it. And he's like, motherfucker, that's mine. How you gonna steal my thunder?
You son of a bitch. I found the first 150 before you were in diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Because like okay, so that does bring up another thing. Professor Oak has been studying Pokemon for I don't know how many years. He's old.
Mm-hmm.
He only finds 150,
mm-hmm.
and he's like, there could be more. I mean, we have the Pokedex.
Mm-hmm.
It only knows 150, but it also makes sense because in every Pokemon, they give you an updated Pokedex.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let you know about the Pokemon in that area, in the new area. Professor Oak is the professor of the Kanto region,
mm-hmm.
and Elm is of Johto. So like it makes sense. Maybe they're just not sharing their notes. Maybe Professor Oak does know there's more than 151. He just refuses to like acknowledge the other ones.
Yeah, he just said nah.
This is my region.
These are the Pokemon that matter.
These are all the cool ones.
Yeah.
And little did he know that there was just like a thriving ecosystem. All the other professors are like sharing notes and shit. And he's like, man, f- those guys. He's like, this is my area.
Well, like even like Legends Arceus, which I think is canon. Like back in the day, there were other Pokemon besides the original 150. So that would imply to me that in that region, everybody just fucking forgot that all of the other Pokemon that existed, which could make sense if there was like a mass extinction event and then Professor Oak's like, no, I'm putting back together the Library of Alexandria burned. I'm putting all the books back together. There's only 150. Also, the Earth goes around the sun. And everybody's like, I don't know about that.
Ichigo solos.
Man.
But like, so what's it called? Oh, it's so true though. Like, what? Like, why couldn't Oak just? I don't know. Fucking, he was so altruistic with how many Pokemon there were, and then more come along. And in Arceus, you get like Pokemon that didn't exist before that.
Correct. Correct.
So like there was like a fucking crab hand Scyther.
Yeah.
And there was like I never played Arceus, so that's
there's the cake one. I don't know. There's the ice cream one. There's the garbage one.
I like the ice cream Pokemon.
I bet you fucking do.
I like the garbage one too. Garbodor, he's cool. He's actually strong. No,
that doesn't mean shit.
Everyone's sleeping on Garbodor. I think he's cool.
In what way? In that he's useful in the game? Is that cool now? Yeah, I think shovels are cool because they're real useful for digging.
So tell me, what is your favorite Pokemon? Like, you get 6 slots. Give me your 6 Pokemon.
Okay, Vaporeon.
Oh, okay.
Charizard.
Okay.
Alakazam.
Okay.
Haunter.
Gengar?
No, Haunter. And fuck, Gyarados. Yeah, Gyarados. There we go.
Give me one more.
I I understand it is disrespectful to put the legendary birds in a ball, so I guess I'll go for Jolteon instead of, the other one.
Good choice. You Vaporeon right off the bat. Just
Vaporeon was my favorite Pokemon before people got horny about it. Okay, like.
Listen, people were always horny about Vaporeon. As soon as they introduced it, they were just like, yes, I'm going to have sex with that.
Would not know. Was not on that part of the internet for a very long time. I was 11.
You're a damn liar.
I was 11 when this came out. I don't even know if we had the internet.
It came out in 97, so I didn't have internet. But I'm sure there were some people writing just handwritten fanfics about it.
and making Xeroxes of them and distributing them. Hell yeah.
Calm down, hentai Pokemon. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. That's always what it devolves into.
With you, yes.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that whenever they came out and we're like, yeah. There's we got another Pokemon game. There's 150 new ones. I was like, cool. I'm completely divested from the card game. I'm completely divested from playing more games. I was in to win. I was like, I'm going to catch them all. And I did. I got every Pokemon card. I had them all in a binder. I was really excited about it. And then they come out and say there's 150 more. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do this again. Why? Why would I?
I collected the trading card game.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the comment that guy left really threw me off.
Yeah.
It was really funny. It was really funny. I collected the cards when I was younger. I had all 150. I didn't know about first editions or second editions or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon was my first TCG.
Yep.
But I collected them a lot. My dad, he surprisingly was cool with me collecting them, which says a lot if you don't know anything about my dad. But
yes,
every once in a while, because stealing was easy back then, he would just go into a store and steal me a bunch of packs.
Hell yeah. This was when stealing was easy, everybody.
This was when stealing was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I told the story. We used to have to steal food when we were younger because we couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But then my dad would just surprise me sometimes. Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I got into that.
Yeah, sure.
But I had all 150. I had a binder. I got it from the trade center, and it was a red Pokemon binder with a Charizard on the front of it.
Yep.
Or Charmander on the front of it. Even though he wasn't my favorite, my mom got it for me as a surprise, and I wasn't gonna be like, "This isn't my favorite.
Get this fuck out of here."
I was happy I got it, but I put all my cards in there. I even had the Ancient Mew. The Ancient Mew Stone
from the movie, yeah.
Because I went to go see the movie,
and
I was fucking super excited. I had a lot of holographics.
Hell yeah!
And one day, someone had stolen it out of my bag at school, and I stopped collecting them. I was heartbroken, and I just could never. I couldn't look at it the same way.
Yeah,
I the magic was gone. Right, the magic was gone.
Yeah.
But the games on the other hand, I didn't collect 150, but I collected as much as I could only because I had one cart until I got yellow, and then when Pokemon Stadium came out, I started trading to my master save file, right?
To
the Game Boy that I actually wanted to show off, and I think it was yellow, because I was really far in red, but then when yellow came out, I decided to switch my master save to yellow. That way I could have the Surfing Pikachu and the Surfing Pikachu minigame. And then Pokemon the movie came out, and they introduced me to the fact that there's more than 150. We saw Meryl, we saw Snubble, I was reading. I was big into like reading Game Pro and Game Informer.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we have like we have fucking rumblings of like new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Pokemon?
I remember being excited about that too, actually. I remember being excited because somebody was like, here's like somebody posted a picture of Meryl. They were like, look, this is going to be a new Pokemon. We don't know what the name is. We're all calling it Pika-Blue right now.
Oh, yeah. Everyone called it Pika-Blue.
And I was like, okay. Like, I'm okay with, like, finding, sure, you find new Pokemon all the time. It's fine. Like, makes sense. You would go out into the woods. You could find a new one. Like, they're rare. Makes sense. And then they were like, cool, yeah. New game, 150. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. No, there's no way there's that many out there that we didn't know about. Shut up.
Y'all are stupid, and so is science. Beans, you're gonna knock over my camera.
Yeah, Beans.
Okay, good. I didn't have that. I was just like a new area. This was before like I knew anything about the story or anything. New area. I knew about there was going to be a new area, new protagonist, like 150 new. This was back when like pre-internet, so like everything I heard was just magazine. That's how I heard about Kingdom Hearts, because like I didn't see any trailers for that game. I didn't hear anything about it besides reading a magazine about it.
Yeah, like you do.
And I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, what is this? The sole reason I bought Kingdom Hearts was not for like the Disney aspect. I mean, I was excited because I was like, what is it? I've never seen an AARPG before, right? So I was just like, what is even the combat gonna be like? I was fresh off fucking Final Fantasies.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And they were like, oh, Goofy and Donald Duck are your partners. I was like, well, how's that gonna work? And then it was just like, I think it was Game Pro, because it was like at the Stripes. I went to the Stripes and I was reading a magazine like you do, and it was like, this is all the Final Fantasy characters that we know of that are in Kingdom Hearts.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, like shaking. I was like, oh. Like I was. That's how it was to learn new information from a game back then. Like all the magic is gone nowadays.
Yeah.
But back then, I was just like, Cloud's gonna be in it.
Whoa. Yeah. No. So was I. I don't give a fuck about Disney. But as soon as they were like, yeah, Cloud's gonna be in it, and so is Squall, and I was like, whoa, fuck.
Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, oh, this game. I was like, how can they do that? Is that allowed?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Like, that had blown my mind. I've never seen like a crossover so like wild back then.
Yeah.
So like, of course I was all in. I didn't know what the story was. I didn't care. I was all in because like they had all the Final Fantasy characters. They had what's it called? They had the Disney. I wasn't like super stoked for Disney.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just like, oh, cool. You get to interact with like Disney characters. And it was like from the Disney Renaissance. So like the best era of Disney. And I was just like, yeah, I'm like, what is this game? I would like, it was wild. Like, man, I like my friend Caleb always like is jealous of me. He's like, man, I wish I could have lived back then in like old internet days or like old time. He's like, because like all the mysticism is gone now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
it really is.
I'm like, you're looking at it, they're like rose tinted glasses of like hearsay. I'm like, but if I had to choose an era to live, it would still be in present, because as fun as it was back then, like, man, I don't know. Like back then I was a kid, so I didn't have responsibility. So I didn't need to know about anything besides my hobby.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like, I can't imagine like not having my phone or internet to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Right? Get down there. You dropped it, pick it up. Don't bark at it.
Yeah. Beans. He's looking up at you like, come on.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how we got here because you were talking about Pokemon and then you just started talking about Kingdom Hearts for some reason, but we are here now.
Yeah, because I was reading about it in a magazine.
Yeah.
And like I said, Pokemon Gold is so good. Like it was just like, here's more. Like, we know you like Pokemon, but here's more of them.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, it kind of got me back into TCG. I didn't like collect as hard as I did before, but I'd pick up a pack or two. And I went to go see the second movie, and of course I played the hell out of Gold and Silver, and I fucking blew my mind that you can go and see fucking Kanto again.
Yeah.
And I was keeping up with the anime, so like there was that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the thing is, at that time, the main difference between then and now in basically every way is the availability and the quality of information. Those are the two largest differences, because I remember when I went to college and somebody like told me like, oh yeah, I heard that this game was coming out on this date or whatever. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, where did you hear that? Like, do you have, it was like a roommate of mine too at college. I was like, what, like, do you have like a Game Informer or some shit? Yeah. And they were like, no, I read it on Kotaku. And I was like, what the heck? What's that? And they were like, oh, it's a game blog. And I was like, what's a game blog? What the fuck are you talking about? How do they know what's happening? And
exactly.
I just like, once I saw Kotaku the first time, I was like, holy shit, dude. What do you mean? There's like every day there's video game news. That's crazy. And like, whenever it was like you had a Nintendo Power that came to your house, or like a fucking Game Informer, whatever it was, like whenever you got one of those magazines, it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm gonna go through like, okay, here's this section of like this game that I want. Fuck sports games, no driving games, no. All right, okay, some cool other stuff, and like you only got sort of curated content. And that meant for me that like you could be excited about like larger games, but only like you could get hype because you didn't have so much information. It's very similar to like whenever a show is releasing weekly or whatever, because like you don't have enough information, so you get to like speculate on like, oh, what could this mean? What could come up next? Like you get to be excited with other people about like what's going to be happening next. Now it's like you have a fire hose constantly, and you can simulate it by being like, okay, I'm just like not going to be on Twitter. I'm not going to be on Reddit. Like, but even then, like, it's hard to not like have news pushed to your phone where Google's like, hey, you're interested in Kingdom Hearts, right? Here's an article about fucking Kingdom. Like somebody had a Kingdom Hearts 4 theory somewhere on the internet. And now it's on your phone. And I'm like, stop. Like, if I open up my news page right now, okay, great. Look, here you go. My Google News has first article is Square Enix is removing De Novo from Final Fantasy 16, and the second one is the Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth devs now create games with a global audience in mind. Like, I don't need to know about any of that shit, but like it's here. It's on my phone already. And so it's hard for me to like get really excited about shit whenever there's a constant barrage of it, which is why I appreciate that Nintendo Direct is like, nah, we are going to drop a bunch of info on one day and then we're not going to talk to you for months. And there's going to be 4 days like that maximum before we actually release a thing. And you're like, oh, well, okay, cool. Because they released the trailer for Breath of the Wild, the first one. That was like the first.
Where he's just on the horse and he jumps in the air and he's like, pew!
Yeah. So there's not that one, but the next one actually, where they actually showed off like they didn't show off the map, but they showed off like, here's some stuff on the Great Plateau. Here's some stuff over here. I watched an 1.5 hour long video dissecting every frame of it, being like, oh, you could pick up this weapon. Oh, the map is about this big. Okay, he puts a point over here, and on the map, this is about this long. We can see how big the map is, so like, we think this is here, and like, theorizing a bunch of shit. I watched that 1.5 hour long video, I'm not kidding, probably 50 or 60 times before the game came out. I would just every day put it on in the background, and as soon as it was done, I would start it again because I was excited about it. It's very rare that happens anymore, where like, because now it's like, oh, fucking Street Fighter 5 is like, Street Fighter 8 is going to come out, and they announced a new character, and a week later, we announced a new character. Oh, we announced a new battle mode. It's like, stop. I don't fucking stop, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is with games nowadays. Like, they announce the game, and like, they're like, oh, it's coming early next year season. But then every month it's like trickle down. This is this is the characters that we're gonna add, and then in that month it's gonna be like every week they're gonna drop like one or two base roster like people, or they're gonna drop hint about the story for like games, and then they're like, all right, like 2 months out, we're dropping like the open beta. That way you can get a hold of like stuff, and then like a month before, like a week before, we're dropping the demo, and so that way like you could play the demo, and then you could play the game when it comes out and move your your saves and stuff from the demo to the game. It's just like what am I trying to say? Like there's games and like anime stuff are so streamlined nowadays that like. And you see this a lot more nowadays, that people are more, they're not like more upset, but like they're not surprised by like what things are going to be in a game.
Yeah.
Like, back then you get a game and you either like it or hate it, or like it's a game that you pick it up because you read about it. You didn't see anything about it. And then like you play through the whole thing. But like nowadays, you get so much information about a game or something you're hyped for that you could tell by looking at everything that they've shown you up until its release whether you're gonna play it or not.
Yeah, and
without having to try it.
Anime's a little bit better about it than the other thing that's been fucking ruined by this, which is movies. Now there's so many trailers that get released for a movie that you basically can watch the whole movie before it ever comes out. Like, there's shit in the trailer that just like spoils parts of the movie that are really big, or like, it's so rare that you get a movie that comes out where you don't know all of the cameos or all of like, oh, I wonder if this guy's going to show up. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine did a pretty good job of that. Like, they kept a lot of that under wraps. They did a good job. But like, so many movies are like, come watch our movie. Look, here's the jump scare part where the monster comes out of the closet. And you're like, okay, great. So now when I watch the movie, I know if they're in the room with the closet, there's going to be a monster in there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that kind of, that specific scenario like spoiled the movie Conjuring for me.
Yeah.
When they did the fucking, when she's looking down the stairs and the fucking hands come out and clap. Like, I was like, oh, that's not. I'm like, I would like, they want that to be scary, but I'm like, how can I be scared? I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I saw it.
But like, that's so true. When movie trailers come out, I only watch the first trailer if it's not a teaser.
Yep.
If it's a teaser, I mean, it's like 10 seconds of like non-movie material.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, the movie's gonna come out this day. This is what the title looks like. But when the actual trailer drops, I will watch that one trailer and no other trailer.
Yep. Because
if I'm interested in it, I don't want to be spoiled. Even though, like, I will, because I scroll like news stuff. It'll be like, the new trailer just dropped that this person's gonna be in it. And what does this imply with the movie that you're watching?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't fucking want to know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to know.
It's a hard spot to be in for everybody too, because now, like, there are so many voices that all have to stand out from one another on the internet in order to like make a living. That sometimes you have to cross over into that territory or you don't get paid, right? So like, for instance, Liam, the guy who's behind Grand Line Review, is like my favorite One Piece YouTuber. People fucking hate him. And they hate him because like sometimes his titles and sometimes his thumbnails will spoil big things in the chapter. Like, for instance, this isn't going to mean anything to most people, but like, spoilers for a One Piece thing. He in the title and the thumbnail of this like chapter review, it was like Figureland Shamrock is here, and we were like, oh, so like now we know the name of this guy that we've been looking at for the past 3 chapters and like don't know anything about. That was like the big lore drop in the chapter, and people were like, why the fuck would you put it in the thumbnail and in the title? Like, shit. And it's like, if you look at other One Piece YouTubers, guess what the fuck they did is that. Like, that's the game, dude. Like, you have to... Gear 5th, whenever it came out, people put it in the thumbnail. Because how the fuck are you not going to? Like, if you're like, oh, this is chapter 1000, whatever, some shit happened. Like, is anybody going to click on that? No, you're going to click on the one that's like, Gear 5th is here. Obviously.
Show fucking Lufo.
Yeah.
It's because he's like the prominent like One Piece guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, like they're gonna see his first before like some other like small timer that they watch talks about it. That's the problem with being like a big YouTuber. Hey, cut that out.
Yeah.
Go lay down in a corner.
It's punishing him.
God. Well, because he's like playing with the P pad, it's clean, but like he's trying to pull it out of the like clamps that I have there, so it doesn't like blow away.
Yeah.
So it doesn't leak. But anyway, that's just what you have to do on YouTube. You want people to like fucking to like what you see that title like, why did you spoil it? You're gonna watch it anyway. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I will, but I'm mad about it now. And like
you fucking knew that there was gonna be like big news in One Piece, and if you're just like subscribed to a bunch of One Piece lore channels, what do you think is gonna show up on your fucking feed? Yeah.
I mean, and I get the urge to be like, you've ruined this surprise for me, because like I hate when shit gets spoiled for me, even if it's minor. Like, we have had a number of conflicts on this show in which I'm like, something as minor as this guy is in it, or the plot starts off this way, or like if you looked at the trailer you would have noticed this thing. Something as small as that is like, I don't want to fucking hear it because I want to experience it all by myself.
I hate that.
I know.
That about you. I hate that because I so desperately want to talk about stuff that I know you're interested in because we're both interested in it. And you're like, I don't want to know. I don't want to fucking know.
Stop it.
Fucking bite my goddamn head off. You say one thing, I'll end this friendship.
I'll end it right now. I'll get my finger on the button that I keep.
Fucking friend button. I'll flip the fucking switch.
I'll do it right now. Don't. Ooh.
It's just so like a lot of trailers come out and I don't really. I don't. Nothing is making me want to go to the movies.
Yeah.
The reason I want to go to the movies, like recently with my sister, is because we'll see like a stupid looking scary movie, and we're like, "You want to go see that?" And we're like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll go watch it. It's a scary movie with like no one would know actors are in it.
Yeah.
We would just watch it. There's no fucking blockbuster movies that are coming out that I want to watch. I wanted to go watch Sonic in the theaters, but I ended up buying it on fucking Amazon, just watching it at home.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's a general problem sometimes. Like, there's so much shit out there now that, like, I think people that engage in the internet in general are getting to the point where they realize they're being overstimulated, and they're like, I need something simpler. I need less. I need to like figure out, how to like curate my life better to where like I have those moments of excitement where it's not just like, if let's call our base level emotion 0, right? And on a scale of excitement, right, you got 0 to 10. Okay. And then whenever you're on like TikTok or YouTube shorts or like whatever, you're hovering pretty constantly at like a 3 or a 4. You're like, oh, this is like, oh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of like, so you get some of that dopamine hit, but it's not like as big as it would be if you're like, oh shit, I just saw this movie. I was surprised about everything. I was like excited about it. Like that was a fucking 10 for like an hour. I was at a 10, or like, I'm playing this new game. Like I saw the teaser for it. I thought it was going to be awesome. I had no idea it was going to be this big. Like Tears of the Kingdom, I didn't know that there was going to be like, there was theories forever that was like, oh yeah, we're going to be up in the fucking sky. We're going to be on some sky islands. And you're like, okay, yeah. This is good. Like you saw him in the trailer. You're like, yeah, we're playing in the sky a lot. Ain't shit told you that there was underground too. Nothing did. And so you're like, there's a whole fucking other map down there. Like, amazing. What a feeling to experience. And it's like, that's a 10. Wouldn't have got that if I was like on TikTok and like, oh shit, there's like an underground. That's crazy. Wow.
Fucking hard TikTok edit of Zelda like Link going down to the fucking ground floor. Bam, 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 fucking like weird HD edits of him like on like the fucking ground.
Yeah.
I can't say I've been excited for anything in a long time.
Yeah.
As sad as that sounds.
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. I've been reading a book. That's the thing that I've been most excited about in months.
Look at you over here, fucking cable guy. When the cable goes out, Kyle Gass picks up a book and starts fucking reading.
Yeah,
it's you.
Yeah,
it's like fucking book. Oh.
Yeah, and I've been liking my book. I've been like really interested in it, but like, and I've also been playing Ghost of Tsushima. And guess what? I'm not as excited about Ghost of Tsushima as I am about my book. Like I play it because it's fun, but like I'm not super invested in the story. Like there's a part in Ghost of Tsushima where like somebody betrays you, right? You're betrayed, and I was like, oh god. I don't feel anything about this. Okay. This is just another fight that I got to do. And I'm having a fun time with it, but I'm so neutral on it. I'm not engaged in the story in like the same way that I would be in like Final Fantasy or something like that. I'm not in that space, and I'm not in that space with like any anime right now. I'm not in that space with like a movie or a TV show. And it makes me jealous sometimes because I'm on Reddit, right? And I see a post on the Severance subreddit hit the fucking top. It's like, this is the top post on all of Reddit right now. Everybody's talking about fucking Severance. And I'm like, man, that show sounds good. Like, I kind of want to be part of this and be like, oh, this fucking kicks ass.
I don't want to watch that. A lot of people are talking about it. I'm like, ugh. I have to mute fucking Discords because they're just talking about fucking Severance. I'm like, I don't care about this show. That's the thing though, is like, it's almost exciting. Like, I almost don't care about the show. I care about the experience you have with the people that are watching the show, right? Like, that's the thing that's exciting to me, is like, we can all be like, wow, what a great episode. Fucking, what do you think about this? What do you think about this thing? Man, I'm excited about next week. Oh, I can't stop thinking about this guy. Man, bring back Kingdom Hearts 2 hype.
Yeah.
Bring back Final Fantasy 13 before it released hype.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, I want that hype again where no one knows anything, and you're just excited for like the experience, because like everyone plays Kingdom Hearts 1, they get the special ending, you're like, whoa, 2 Keyblades? Is that Riku?
How the fuck?
Yeah, no shit. Like, and then what is it, like 2 years or like the in between of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2? Because like you play 1 and then a year later you get fucking Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and then the year after that you get Kingdom Hearts 2, and then your fucking ass blasted away by fucking 2 when you play it.
Yeah,
and it's everything that like you like expected and more.
Yeah, like a good sequel kind of makes the first one look like shit, and that's exactly what happened with Kingdom Hearts 2. I watched a short from Pirate Software, and he was like, yeah, if anybody ever grew up playing Kingdom Hearts, you know what happens when you play Kingdom Hearts 1 and you're excited about Kingdom Hearts 2. You play Kingdom Hearts 2, you're like, oh, what a fucking great game. I'm gonna go back and play Kingdom Hearts 1, and you're like, wow, this game is kind of shit. The combat in this sucks ass, kind of a lot, actually. And you're like, why was I so excited about this? And it's because like things evolved and just got better. And then now even the thing that you were excited about whenever it first came out is like, well, that's like not even as good as this thing that like just came out. It's like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. And then it was like, what, 10 years between 2 and 3?
Yep.
And the hype just never died down because like we had snippets there, but we kept hearing about 3. And then when 3, I think we talked about this before, 3 came out, and I was like, I had my fucking hype meter max, and I was playing it. I was like, this is so good, this is great. And I'm going through the game, and then I beat it. I'm like, that wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I really hate how Sora was in this game.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't like some of the worlds that were in this game. I mean, but the combat was great.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, but man, that was such a lesser experience than 2.
Dude, not only that, like Kingdom Hearts had the Marvel problem where they fucking like they just put everybody in it and they put all the fucking side characters and they tied up all the storylines. I think the biggest disservice that they did to themselves. Okay, so I'm going down the list here. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 came out 2 years later, Chain of Memories a year later, 2. And then Kingdom Hearts Coded only on Japanese phones, Kingdom Hearts Mobile also Japanese phones. 358 over 2 days on the DS. That's 2009. That's 3 years after 2. Birth by Sleep a year later. Dream Drop Distance 2012. And then the HD remake. And then the other mobile game. And then the HD remake 2.5. And then 2.8 final chapter prologue. And then 3. Right?
Yeah.
The thing about Kingdom Hearts 3, though, like that's all over the map. So like you get hype about Kingdom Hearts 3 because like another side story's come out and you're like, oh, that's awesome. Like that's like more lore, I guess. But it's gotten to the point where it's like Star Wars shit where you're like, or Marvel shit where you're like, did I really have to watch WandaVision to watch this? Did I really have to like play this shitty DS game to like get the story? And it's like, yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah.
The thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 though is the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 was the biggest flop. It was the biggest, like, blah. It was just kind of whatever, right? Big, epic, like, the Keyblade graveyard. You're going to fucking go there, and you're going to fight all the copies of Xehanort, and you're going to, like, you have to save every alternate version of yourself, and he goes to heaven, right? Like,
yeah.
You're like, man, this is supposed to be epic, and it's just, like, overwhelming with how unfocused it is. Apparently a lot of that got fixed in the DLC. Like the ending of it got changed and streamlined and like made better. And I was like, that's fucking useless to me because I'm not going to go back and play it. I'm just not, dude.
Same. That's what I said when, I don't know who I was talking to about it, and they were just like, oh, but you're gonna play the DLC because they fixed everything. And I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I spent like all this time like fucking finding all the hidden Mickeys, getting all the fucking recipes, doing all the like everything in the game to like max it out.
Yeah.
To max out my experience. Why? And get the ultimate weapon, which you had to do a stupid amount of things in Kingdom Hearts 3 to do. I mean, everyone you do, but like you have to beat like hidden flans.
Yeah.
You gotta go down the fucking the frozen race like 15 times, and the sledding thing.
Yep.
And just to get the ultimate weapon, easier than the prior 2 games, I'll give it that, but it's stupid. Like, why would I get the DLC and do that again for the ending to be better? I'll just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
And 3, even I wouldn't. Man, it looks good and it feels good, but man, the story wasn't there.
No.
Which is a shame because like 2. The story, like, I played Chain of Memories. I didn't beat it, but I didn't have to beat it to get the story and enjoy part 2. I played Dream Drop Distance, and I played like a little bit of Birth by Sleep, but I didn't like beat him or like play him. I didn't like follow the lore. I didn't know all these things about Zane. I was like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
In 3, I was like, why is this like this? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was so confusing. I hate that they split the game up into like, you gotta have a cell phone to play the mini games to get the lore. You gotta get a DS to play this game, and a 3DS for that one, and a Vita for that game.
Yep.
Like, dude, what the fuck? Why do I have to do all this goddamn homework?
Yeah.
Why? Like, why did you hide main game story on like spin-off handheld consoles? Couldn't those just been like character stories of like side characters that don't really matter to the grand scheme of things?
Yeah.
I that's why I was so disjointed from fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. I was like, man, this game feels good and it looks good, but fuck, why? Like, I don't really know what the hell's going on, and why Xehanort can travel through and from time, get clones of himself, and fucking, I didn't know who Terranort was. I didn't know like any of these people, and I didn't know why I cared about saving them.
Yep. Yeah, like the Chain of Memories was a good spin-off game. Like, if you played it, you got some extra info. Like,
it starts right at the end of 1.
Yeah, it starts right at the end of 1, and it goes right into 2. And you got extra info. It was info that was like kind of covered in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's still kind of important to play. I would argue actually the better side story was 358 over 2 days, because that's you play as Roxas, and you're just doing like random ass missions. You have a whole story with like Roxas and Axel and Shion, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like, at the end of the game, it doesn't really matter. And you're like, okay, like, this was a cool side story. I enjoyed this. But then the place where they fucked up super bad was Birth by Sleep. When they were like, this is laying all the groundwork for Kingdom Hearts. And you're like, oh, okay. So, like, every bit of lore afterward connects to that. Every bit of lore before that connects to it. Like, the cell phone game is so deep with lore. It's awful.
Birth by Sleep is so deeply important to play, to understand 3, to know who fucking Terra and the other people were.
Terra, Aqua, Ventus, and Vanitas.
Yeah, to know who, you have to know who those people are to understand 3, and you have to understand Master Xehanort and Master fucking what's his face,
Ericus.
And why they're important. And why they're important. Man, this is too much. Like, why did you do this, Square Enix? Like, it would have been fine. I would have been fine with no lore drops on handhelds. Like, just release a TV show at that point, because like not everyone's gonna buy this console to fucking do this homework. To just get ready for 3 that may come within the next 5 years after that.
Well, like the thing that, so I have played almost all of the games except for the cell phone ones. I've played, I think, every Kingdom Hearts spin-off game. The thing that makes it bearable and okay, like where I've accepted it and like I'm fine with it, is that they don't show up every year or every 2 years. Like, you get a break, right? Which is a big problem with the MCU, because they're like, yeah, hey, did you finish all those 8 episodes of WandaVision? Great. Two weeks later, here's Loki. Here's another fucking 6 weeks of this show. Great. Oh, 2 weeks after that, yeah. This new Captain Falcon show. Sorry, Captain America. We've also got this new show. Oh, it's called What If. No, it doesn't matter. Kind of matters though, actually. And you're like, I can't. You keep giving me shit to do, and I don't need it. I'm not wanting it. Stop. Take a break.
I hate What If, and I hate D plus series, because they just muddy the main MCU fucking storyline. And I was talking to Colby about this before we started. I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy 1 last night. Half of it, and I finished today, and then I started 2 before the show. And you wouldn't like believe watching those shows that they were part of the MCU, because they don't. It's so good to see an MCU movie that they don't have like callbacks to like
Yeah.
the main line. They don't show the people. It's just a what's it called, a contained story in the space universe. And it's so fun to just like turn your brain off and see these fun characters. Like and it was more for a teen adult audience, because they swear a lot in those movies. And it's just fun to see that it's not tied into anything. This is back before like MCU actually started like fucking this is connected to that's connected to this. And I hate that. I hate that all the shows have to connect to one another for some stupid reason. I mean, the whatever stone was in part 1, but they didn't even make a big deal about that. Like Thanos didn't show up. They just mentioned him. Or yeah, he did show up. I'm sorry. Ronan went and talked to him, and he looked fucking stupid and goofy.
Yeah,
and
then
and then part 2, like Peter, it has nothing to do with anything. It's just Peter fucking fighting his dad ego and learning he's a Celestial, which means nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's just, they're fun movies.
Yeah.
And I could go back and watch the old ones too, like fucking Iron Man and Captain America, the first one, and like Hulk or something. And they're like not trying to connect with each other, but like now, fucking, if you want to watch fucking Captain America Brave New World, you'd have to watch Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You have to watch the fucking Hulk movie from 2008. You have to watch something, and that's why I didn't go watch it. And I'm glad I didn't, because I would have hated it. The new Captain America Brave New World movie is so stupid. It's not a movie about Captain America, and it really did a disservice to what's his face, the new Captain America, and made him look bad. Even though, like, people are already like dogging on him, but like this movie didn't do him any fucking service, because the movie is about him, and he's like, oh, I'm Captain America now, and he's got a vibranium suit from Wakanda, and he's like, oh, I don't need a superhero serum soldier. And then there's sleeper agents that attack the president, and then he has to deal with that, and then it's over, like, with still 2/3 of a movie left. And then the leader, MCU Hulk character from the old movie, that guy who got the blood on his head, he comes out and he looks stupid as fuck. He looks like fucking an infected nutsack, and he shows up, and he's like, oh, Winter Soldier, or fucking Captain America. He's like, you're not going to stop my plan. I know everything. I'm the smartest guy in the world. And then he beats the one guy, and he's like, well, I didn't calculate that, so I give up. And then you still got 1/3 of the movie left, and that's when Red Hulk shows up, and then he like goes on a rampage for 5 minutes. And then everything you saw in the trailer, that's all Red Hulk's in. And then he doesn't even beat, or Captain America doesn't even beat him, right? He talks him down. He's just like, yo, bruh, this ain't you. He's like, this isn't what your daughter wanted. And then like he goes back into Harrison Ford. And I'm like, what even was this movie? And like, why did it matter? This is stupid.
And you needed so much setup for that, right? And it's hard nowadays. Again, like, you get so overwhelmed by all the media that comes in. Like, you probably watch or read, I would guess, 5 hours a day of like watching a video or like reading like tweets or whatever. And it's like, the volume of time is high, but like the density of it is very low, right? It's all easy to consume shit. It's all like not necessarily like thought provoking, or like, you know, oh, this is like a thing that I'm like interested in, that I like, it's just like, this is something to put on. And like that coupled with like the fact that everything is so kind of explained and it's just out there, means that the stakes for like getting information or like getting invested into something are so low that it's like, why? And whenever something challenges you to be like, hey, hey, like a game like not Baldur's Gate, but a game like Skyrim maybe, where Skyrim is like, yeah, there's a bunch of lore that's like in these books that are in the game. So if you like read some of like this text, you get some like background story about like what's going on here. And like if a game tried to make you be like in Final Fantasy 13, actually, great example. So much of that is like, this is what the L'Cie are. This is what the judges are. This is how this world is built. And they like, instead of doing a lot of like tell, don't show, or sorry, show, don't tell, they do a lot of tell, but don't read. They just put it into some shit that you just never read. And you're like, oh, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter that much. But like, it makes the world a lot richer if you're willing to invest the time to look into it.
That's like you getting mad at me for getting Final Fantasy X like wrong.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's because you're dumb. But the like in general, having to like read a bunch and be like, oh yeah, it's like supplementary material that you've like got to subject yourself to. That would be a reasonable expectation if I didn't have a rectangle in my pocket that constantly fed me with new videos. Like, every day I get a video where it's like, oh, here's a guy doing a thing. Here's somebody talking about High School Musical. Here's a fucking, like, it's just constant and it's no effort. And so whenever you ask me, like, put in a little effort to do this, I'm like, why? Justify yourself. Why? Why would I have to? Why would I want to? No.
Because
it's going to be good. Is it?
It's going to be good. You don't know. You don't know how good it's going to be. You don't know how good I can be. But that's another thing for these companies, right? They put out all this supplementary material that not a lot of people watches because they don't really like who's out here want to watch a show about fucking Captain Falcon. I didn't want to watch it, and I hear it was awful. So like, of course I'm not gonna watch it. And then like I saw the Hulk like movie like 15 years ago. Like then the movie comes out and then people go and watch it and they're just like, I don't really get it and I don't understand. Like, especially like normal people, they're like, wait, why is fucking Sam what's his name fucking Captain America? Especially like if they didn't watch Endgame, like I don't know why they didn't watch Endgame, or like they forget at the end that Captain America gives a shield to him, and then they see nothing else besides just movies that come out. Like, of course people aren't gonna understand. Fucking Hideo Kojima didn't even understand. Like, did you see that?
No.
And he tweet like you can Google it, but Hideo Kojima tweeted and he was just like, went to go see the Captain America movie, and he's just like, I don't really like get it. He was like, why is this guy Captain America? Like, he was really confused about the movie.
It's like, excuse me, just a quick, did I miss something?
Yeah, I think that was his whole thing about it. Like, he didn't get it, and just because he didn't watch the supplementary material, he just probably just watched the movies and only the ones that like he liked. But like, you see, people that are watching the movies, they're not like, oh, I'm gonna watch everything that comes out. I'm gonna get Disney Plus, and I'm gonna watch all the shows, and I'm gonna fucking love it. I'm gonna eat all the information. I'm gonna make notes so that way when I'm in the movie theater and I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, look, it's that guy, and like turn the page, fucking 50. Yeah, there it is.
This confirms my theory about this thing. Oh, hold on. Let me reference the old MCU Bible because there are some inconsistencies with the new MCU Bible. Ugh.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is my Phase 4 booklet. If I would have known they were going to do callbacks to the whole, well, because he saw the trailer, I would have brought my MCU Phase 1 fucking Bible. Like, dude, no one's doing all this homework to go watch movies. And it's stupid for like big corporations like Disney to like think otherwise. That's why they're kind of failing in the movie market, because no one wants to go see that. Yeah. And then like making strange decisions like Mandalorian season 3. Well, it's not about Mando anymore. Like, Mando's not like the tough rootin' tootin' shooting guy. It's about that chick, right? She's in charge for a little bit, and then he just like, I don't know, it lives happily ever after, and Pedro didn't show up to set, so we can't show him take off his helmet. And then like they fucking botched it with Book of Boba Fett. They did a bunch of stupid reasoning. They botched Ahsoka with fucking zombie stormtroopers and lesbian space witches, which could have been fun, but that's kind of weird. I get it. And they messed up with fucking what's that other show with Acolyte with lesbian space witches again. Didn't we just see this? Like and then the writing was bad. You didn't granted, you didn't need supplementary info for Acolyte, but fuck. They could have gotten better writers because they got the bottom of the barrel writers to write that show. It was so awful.
Well, and it's we've said this a lot, but like a lot of shows are sort of designed by committee at this point, and also doing something where like everybody gets approval. Like Disney is basically like, okay, we have to put out X amount of Star Wars properties per year. So we're going to approve these 3 projects. And it's not like these 3 projects were so amazing that we want to put them all into production at the same time. It's like, no, that's what we had room for. So that's what we filled it with these things. And it's like from somebody that's not involved in the industry at all, and this may not even be remotely the case, but it really does seem like they're like, okay, we have 20 hours. Now, it's, I guess, closer to 50. We have 50 hours of Star Wars content to fill this year. Okay, so we'll do this show and this show and this show, and that'll get us most of the way there, and then maybe a movie? No movies, another mini series. Let's do another one. And it's like, I wonder what you could do if you just stopped it all for a couple of years and just like let everything sort of settle out and then come back with one really good idea whenever it was time. Like you have a 2-year block where it's like you can make no Star Wars things, and then the block is lifted. It's not a movie comes at that time. It's now we can think about what we want to do. Now, if this is a really good idea, now we do this one idea, right? Like, it seems, especially with MCU, I think people saw what Marvel did and how Marvel made a shit ton of money, and they didn't foresee that in the future people would be like, nah, it's too deep, it's too lore heavy, it's too invested, I can't fucking deal with that, so I'm not going to do it. Like, I think they really didn't think that was going to happen. They were like, yeah, no, we could just keep doing this forever. It's fine.
So the thing with like the MCU, with it being like deep and rich and lore heavy, the MCU has like 60 years of comics they can pull stories from and characters, right? It's so character and story rich. Mm-hmm. And in the first phase, they laid out what they were gonna do, what the story was, and then they just kind of take these iconic villains and heroes and make a movie about it. Mm-hmm. And you know, they do it really well because no one's ever done something like that before, where they make separate movies and then they interconnect them like ever so slightly up until people know that the Avengers are going to come out, right? The Avengers are going to come out, and we just, you know, we're waiting for it because they mentioned it in Iron Man, so we're going to see how they connect it. What's the threat, you know? And even thinking back to the Avenger, like the threat wasn't even that big.
It was aliens, honestly, right? There's just some aliens.
It was Loki.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
with the Tesseract and with aliens, the Chitauri or whatever they are.
Yeah,
and I'm like, back then I was like, whoa! I was like, yo, that's fucking. They're introducing space and like all this shit, but like, from where we are now, I'm like, man, that's not really like a big deal.
Yeah.
Because of where we've come. But we built ourselves up to then. And with the movie Endgame, I really think they could have put out like a show or two to like wrap things up like neatly. But they just kept going. They didn't give us like a 5-year break or a 3-year break and like revamp it. But and then other companies saw that like MCU getting popular, and they're like, well, now we gotta, our show's like rich and like beloved. We gotta make more, and we gotta make spin-offs because that's what the MCU is doing, and it's working. And Star Wars didn't have anything but the 3 they didn't have as much rich lore and history besides the books. And people were like, oh, what can they do? They got the books and stuff. And then Kathleen Kennedy came out and she was like, all the books are non-canon and we're not going to do that. And we disassociate from them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? And they're like, we're making 3 new movies and it's all original. And then like everyone's like, okay. And then those weren't good. And then they're doing all the supplementary stuff. And then those aren't good. And she's just like, well, I don't know what you want. We don't have any lore to pull from like the MCU movies. And people are like, you have the books that you said weren't canon.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, like the thing is, she's got like they've got this whole like Star Wars Legends universe that they could pull from. And I get that they're like, yeah, we're not going to make this 1-to-1, like, because that's too much. No one's read all those books because I think they foresaw the problem that MCU has now, which is I don't want to do a bunch of fucking homework to go watch this movie about a guy I don't know. And so they're like, okay, well, let's just make some new shit. Right. They fucked around because they didn't let the same guy make 3 movies. They should have just let the same guy make 3 movies and they would have had something presentable, but
they wanted some fucking anthology, right? They're just like, oh, this is going to be fucking Pandora's box of 3 movies. It's not even going to make sense. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what's getting made? Yeah. It'll be great.
Because it's Star Wars. Everyone loves Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, and you'll buy it because it's Star Wars.
Yes.
It's like
no one liked that.
It's one of those things that like you think about as like this could have been such an incredible opportunity, and then they really botched it. And I get that they like fucked up pretty bad on that part, and I really wish that they just had the courage to just say like, hey, we're a do-over. We need a do-over. Sorry. Everything we've did in the past 5 years is non-canon. Sorry, we're going to do another one. My bad.
I'm telling you, if they really wanted, just remake the original fucking 4, 5, and 6. Or just remake them. That way people are going to be mad if you like recast Han Solo as like a black dude or like Leia as like a black girl or whatever. But like you're telling the same story, updated graphics. Maybe you add like I don't know, stuff that could lead up to future projects if you want. Or just be like, oh, this is a Star Wars in a different universe, so we're doing like a new set of movies. The Force works different in this universe, and like do something, because like they keep making these side movies that desperately try to tie back to those 3 movies and those characters and the Skywalkers. Just like do something else. Like I'd say just give up on Star Wars, like or at least keep the universe and just make like some kind of mercenary show. Like we don't need any more information about fucking Luke Skywalker and the rebellion and that shit. Like we don't need any more. Like his story's done. Do something else.
Yeah. Andor apparently is very good. The Clone Wars shows are apparently very good. And like those are probably very good because they're like non-connected to some stuff. And the things that happen in them are like very sort of side story-y. It's just, it's a hard line to walk because on one end, you have Kingdom Hearts 3 daring you to play a mobile game to get everything, right? And on the other end, you've got like an anthology series in which nothing matters, and that's how you get Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, where it's like, I don't know, we took the same characters and we threw away the plan for the plot, so like the story beats don't make sense from this one to that one and this one to that one, but like, it's fine, don't worry about it. They fly now. Like, that's how you get shit like that. And there's somewhere in the middle where it's like, you've made a world that I have questions about, that I want answered, and I want to talk about it with people, and I'm excited to find out what happens next. And like, that's one of the reasons why I'm really like into this book that I'm into right now. It's very classic fantasy series. It's the Stormlight Chronicles from Brandon Sanderson. And I'm 2 books into it. The 5th one just came out, and that like ends the whole thing. And I'm like, that's great. The fact that you're not like, yeah, well, we're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep writing shit about this world. Like, authors sometimes really nail it, where they're like, I found a story that I want to tell that's set in the same place, so I do it. Whenever you have a movie studio that's like, I have this property that I need to come out with a new story every few years about, then it's like, at some point, it's not about the story that you want to tell. It's the story you have to tell, because that's what's expected. It's expected that a new one comes out, and it's expected that the new one ties into the old ones, and it's expected that you keep up with the lore continuity, and it's expected that like so much stuff now piles up that like if it's any amount of effort, I'm like, I don't fucking want it.
Yeah, the worst part about the new Star Wars 7, 8, and 9 is they didn't give us any interesting characters. I mean, they gave us one, but they just threw him aside quick, and that was Finn.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave us like the fucking wettest blanket ass main character of Rey.
Oh, I actually love the main 3. I love their characters. I thought the Rose stuff in the second one was weird with Finn. Like, I really wanted to explore more about like Finn being like, oh yeah, I'm an ex-stormtrooper and I've got feelings about that. I was abducted from my home world. I'd like to go back there and like seeing how like things have changed. Like, that's a cool thing to explore. Poe being like, I came up through the ranks and like, you know, this is why I hate the Empire, like exploring why he is the way that he is and how he's good at flying and like shit like that. I'm interested in that. Rey, I really loved in the first one. I really wish that they would have incorporated more about her being like a fucking junker, like being like, oh yeah, I like engineer shit together. I like salvage things. I know how parts work. I'm a good mechanic. None of that shit mattered in the second and third one. Like, they set up these characters that I love the characters. I hate what happened to them over the course of 3 movies because they became like, yes, main character 1 goes to learn lightsaber. Main character 2 learns to be on ship. Main character 3 learns to fly plane good. And it's like...
Yeah, I think that's probably exactly what I mean. I didn't really like Rey when I first saw the first movie. I'm like, she's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, she started off with like a personality,
Mm-hmm.
but then like lost it once she got off planet.
Yeah.
But I really jived with Finn, like when they first showed him and like with the stormtroopers, and he's like fucking panicking, and then he's trying to escape, and then like they gave him like the cool fight scene with the stormtroopers, and I wanted to know more about Finn, but then you just never do, and then he goes on this side mission in the middle of the second movie with Rose Tico that ultimately led to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what are you doing here, man?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know more about you, Finn, and I want to root for you, but what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, there were so many cool things that they could have explored and could have done, but it really felt like it was focused on the plot, like the march of the plot. And unfortunately, again, because they changed directors and like writers and shit, it's like there was no focused, like, this is what we set up in movie 1 that pays off in movie 3. Like, none of that shit was set up. It was all like set up and pay off in the same movie, and they're barely connected to each other. And like, that's what you want, some stakes to be able to like see the next movie. It's different than being like, hey, there's a fucking 8 hours of a TV show that we're loosely connected to, and you won't understand this if you don't watch it. It's like, this is the sequel to this movie. You need to have seen this other movie first, fucker. Like, come on.
You had to have read the 5-issue comic series that we put out that shows what happens from the first movie in between this that leads to the second movie. And if you didn't read it, then you're not gonna know what's going on. So fuck you. You should have read the included very small comic that comes with the video game that came out with. That's the prequel comic, and you can only get it there. So buy the video game. You remember that pamphlet we were handing out when you had to go buy those Star Wars Doritos? That's important.
That's in there.
That's where the lore's at. Like, oh, I hate modern day fucking advertising and shit. Can't we just fucking go back to not knowing everything about a movie or TV show before it comes out.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I'm so tired of like in any of the big fucking movies that are come out being superhero movies are being are being like old series that they brought back. Like I can't even think of any blockbuster movies that are coming out that I even know about that I want to see because it's so much of the same that I am so tired of it.
Shrek.
Okay, bad example. I want to see Shrek. I don't know anything about it, but I think because like it's been so long since we've had a Shrek movie that it's okay because it did the thing that I asked. You know, we used to have Shrek movies all the time up until 4, and then they waited like 10 or so years, and we got Puss in Boots, and that movie was great, the new one, and then now we're getting Shrek, and it's been long enough to where, yeah, okay, I'm excited, right?
Yeah.
What can you say about MCU? There are new movies coming out all the time. What am I excited for? I don't even want to see Thunderbolts, and that movie looks vaguely good.
Yeah. I'm going down the list of movies that are coming out this year.
Disney's putting out fucking sleeping Snow White, and that movie looks awful. And no, it doesn't help that fucking Rachel Zegler is making an ass of herself all over fucking public anytime she does any kind of like interview. Like that movie looked awful. First of all,
yeah,
her doing interviews really fucking put the movie in the shitter. And how are you gonna make fucking Gal Gadot, even though her acting is awful, she's a terrible actor. How are you gonna make her the jealous fucking witch? She's way hotter than Rachel Zegler. Like she's like, oh, who's the fairest in the land? They show her, Rachel Zegler, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is this mirror blind? Fuck, like you got Gal Gadot right here.
I'm looking.
Why didn't you make the evil witch fucking Lizzo? Then I'd understand.
Damn. How dare you?
Sorry, Lizzo fans.
Lizzo kicks ass. Or at least she used to.
I don't know. Not since she did all that weird sex stuff with her crew.
That's right. Let's see. Mickey 17 is actually the only movie that I can see that's coming out that I actually wanted to see. So there's that.
I kind of want to watch that movie too, but it reminds me of that secret level short, The Outer Worlds. Like, if you watch that short, which is like, I don't know, 10 minutes long on Amazon Prime, it feels to me like what Mickey 17 is, you know, where the guy keeps dying, but in the show, like, he keeps losing parts of himself and getting replaced. Like, they feel like not interchangeable, but like samey. Yeah. But Mickey 17 looks really good, and I kind of want to see it. I won't go to the theaters to watch it, but I want to watch it.
Let's see. You got Snow White. We got the Minecraft movie. Great.
Say to that.
We got oh nope. Keep scrolling.
Just nothing.
Nope. Keep scrolling. The Accountant 2. There you go.
I didn't even see part 1. What the fuck is that?
Oh, Cheech and Chong's last movie.
Shut the fuck up.
It's there. It's coming out in April.
I don't want to watch it. That's like when Jay and Silent Bob made a part 3. I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime that a Kevin Smith comes out with a new movie now, I'm like, oh, what you did? I'm good, actually.
Dude, Kevin Smith is... He's one of those people that I used to like because his movies were different and funny. But now he's so fucking full of himself. And he became full of himself a long time ago. Yeah. And everything he puts out, he's like, I put it out and I'm so great. And he's like, if you don't want to watch it, then you're just not smart. Like, I fucking hate him. I hate Kevin Smith.
Thunderbolts. That's coming.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
That's a movie. That's the one I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch that one this year. And I don't care what it's about. I just want to see people die.
Live action Lilo and Stitch. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
do people even watch those anymore? Fuck.
I mean, they must.
They
Karate
must.
Kid Legends.
Man, fuck Karate Kid. I can't stand people who are like, did you watch Cobra Kai? I'm like, I don't watch Cobra Kai. Why the fuck would I want to watch that?
Because you like kicking. Let's see. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action.
Oh my god, I just watched the animated movie. It's the same thing.
28 years later.
Oh yeah, that's the sequel to 28 Weeks Later.
That's right.
Or months later, or whatever the second one was. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Megan 2.0.
I don't think that's a theater watch for me. It'll come out on Netflix.
True.
I'll watch it.
Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh man, that's another franchise that needs to die. Fucking Chris Pratt ruined that.
Damn. Tell him you said that.
Did. Tell him.
Oh, that's weird. Superman's coming out this year.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I saw the trailer and I was kind of enthused about it, but then I saw the memes with like where the dog's standing in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made the meme of the dog with a gun holding it on him.
Nice.
Fucking funny. I don't know. I watch it. I don't know. Nothing is really dragging me to the theater to watch it.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. A new one of those, I guess. A new Smurfs movie.
Oh no! Fucking wipe my ass with Smurfs.
Wait, The Fantastic Four.
Okay, you got me. I'm gonna go see that.
A new Naked Gun movie.
Shut the fuck up! No. What?
Yeah.
With who?
Pamela Anderson, Liam Neeson, Kevin Durant.
Okay. Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson. I was like, but Liam Neeson. He is like the new Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Because he's serious, and he's a straight man, so he'll play a good like straight man saying funny shit but not reacting to it.
Yeah. So long as he can pull that off, then I think it'll be great.
I think it'll be good. Until you said Liam Neeson, I was like, oh man.
You're like, no.
But Liam Neeson really brought me back into it because I could see him doing it. He is like Leslie Nielsen, except Leslie Nielsen is an American treasure. Like, yeah. Betty White.
It's true. And it's really difficult to say both of their names in the same sentence. So that's everybody wins. Nobody 2. Freakier Friday.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off with that title. Here's the problem with Hollywood. They don't have any top tier celebrities that really want to bring you into theaters like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
No one really is chomping at the bit to. I can't even name like someone in theaters that like some actor right now that I'm just like, I can't wait for the next one of their movies.
Yeah.
Like, there is no Hollywood actor nowadays that's just not as iconic as old actors. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to sound like some kind of fucking boomer or something. It's just that like movies back then used to be like special. No one knew what was going to come out. We'd see a trailer like the week before it came out, and then you go see the movie and it was like good or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like people used like to have all these movies and go and watch them, and they were big, and then they talk about them, and then we wouldn't hear anything until like a sequel or like the whole movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like nowadays there's just too much information and it's too much in the zeitgeist that I'm not excited for anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a sad existence where you're just like, man, I can't be excited for anything. I'm just fucking coasting on life, waiting for my next dopamine hit, which usually is nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's the same thing with movies, like video games too, and like comedy. I used to love stand-up, and now I hate stand-up because I just don't like sitting and like listening to a comedian tell jokes. I'd have to be there live, and someone would have to give me the tickets for me to go see some kind of stand-up. It's just like, that's why when people are like, oh, why don't you watch live action shows? Because they don't interest me anymore.
Yeah.
I could watch anime, and it could be about who knows what, because I'm not keeping up. And that's why I play like old games, or like I get excited for these like non-fucking AAA games, because if it's like some kind of AAA like Ubisoft or fucking Warner Bros, it's either going to be some kind of looter shooter live service game or some fucking open world slop that they just changed the map from a different game to this mechanic.
Yeah.
It's just not exciting anymore.
Yeah, I think that like the beginning of the year is a particularly bad slump for things like this, because there are going to be things to be excited about. Once that new Nintendo Direct hits, ooh, bitch, it's going to be on.
My sister's actually excited for that too. For the new Switch.
Yeah. She's
mostly
right.
because when I get the Switch 2, she's gonna get the old Switch.
Hell yeah. Okay, here's the rest of the movies that are going to come out the rest of the year that you may be interested in. A new Tron movie. Let me go back up here. Yes. Saw 11. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Predator Badlands. Now You See Me 3.
Shut the fuck up.
The second Wicked movie.
No.
Zootopia 2.
Okay, I'm excited for that one.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
All right, I'll watch that one.
Avatar Fire and Ash.
Oh, they can kiss my ass.
Yeah. And and the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants.
Oh, fuck that. Why would you think I was excited for any of those?
Oh, and Killer Clown Girls. There you go.
What?
Killer Clown Girls. I don't know. It seems like a you thing.
Okay, I'm interested. My interest is peaked, but for no reason. Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm gonna watch. I don't know if I'm excited per se, but I'm gonna watch it. I saw the first one, and I want to see if they up the ante. I mean, there was like 4 kills in the first movie, and 2 of them were by a cupcake. Let's see. What did you say before Five Nights?
A new Predator movie.
I'll watch that. Man, none of those other movies sound good. The actress that plays fucking Elba Bubba, I don't like her. She looks like she looks like Nosferatu.
Damn.
She does. Look at her. She's all ribs and her hands are all spindly. She looks like that movie Witches when they take off their human outfit and they become the witch. she just looks like if I touched her, I'd have to wash my hands. And it's just because she's like like sickly, like she fucking I don't know. Like I'm not trying to be mean or like fucking weird.
I'm not trying to be mean, but she looks awful and I don't like looking at her.
She does. And she's rubbing off on Ariana Grande because like Ariana Grande had like you could just see her ribs and she's deteriorating, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on there?
I don't. Man. Whatever she wants, man. What like?
I mean, listen,
this is the thing. Like, choice. let's rewind like 6 years. Fucking, I can't wait to hear you be like, God, have you seen the pictures of the Black Panther recently? God, cracked Panther, more like. Christ, he looks awful. And then we find out that he's going through cancer treatments. You're like, oh. Can we? Do we delete that or?
Look, if you could rewind 5 years, I wouldn't have said that. I actually thought fucking the guy who played Black Panther would look great. He didn't look sickly or skinny at all. He looked fucking ripped. I didn't even know he was sick until he died.
Yeah.
Like, he died. I was like, he died?
Yeah, wow. There was like a lot of like paparazzi press shots of him like, you know, like doing the Wakanda thing, but like looking kind of frail. People were like, what's going on with this guy?
Maybe I didn't keep up. Like, that man, five years ago was such a Wild West ass time. With
it
like,
still is.
Like kind of, but like I said, Hollywood and video games are just, they used to be so colorful and like full of like whimsy, and now they're just fucking McDonald's corporate gray.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you seen that picture of like the McDonald's with like the zoo on it?
Yeah.
And then like the fucking corporate McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's that picture, but like substitute it with fucking Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no more magic in watching movies. Like, we could have just like one or two movies that aren't like connected to a universe.
Mm-hmm.
Can't like when like The Mummy came out, I never expected there to be a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it to have a universe connected to a universe.
Yeah.
When I seen Blob, I didn't think there was gonna be like Blob 2. He came back, like they hinted it at the end of it, but like nothing came of it, which I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Blob. Like, I love these old movies, and like they never hinted to like something greater than their contained premise.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems like you can't have a movie without also tacking on, well, this could lead to a sequel or a show,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe there's a side character in there that could have, his own spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can't we just have contained things? And I say that knowing that there are some things out there that do this, but like they're either not advertised well, or they're shot bad, or the story's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And like that harkens back to back in the days where not everything was a fucking hit, but like we have all these things to watch shows and movies on, like Netflix and everything.
Yeah.
But every time I get on them and I see stuff, I'm like, man, I just don't want to watch that.
That's the thing, is like, I think there are movies and shows that are coming out that I think you would probably enjoy. But the combination of like finding it on the right streaming service, being in the right headspace, and also sifting through the absolute sea of bullshit to get there is so daunting. Like Severance, I would actually love to watch Severance. Like, I'm like thinking about the concept of the show. If somebody like told me about the show, I'd be like, that sounds kind of good. It's on Apple Plus. It's on Apple TV Plus. I'm never going to fucking watch it. Don't care. Can't do it. And I refuse to. And so like, at least I'm pretty sure it's on Apple TV Plus. Anyway, any show that's on Apple TV Plus, like I'm never going to watch. And so like it's a combo of that, and also being like, oh, they're going to put on another fucking MCU thing. They're going to like, you keep seeing slop content where you're just like, oh God, I don't want to watch another like fucking Saw movie. I don't want to watch another. And so like when something weird comes out of like left field, it's harder to get that weird thing to get your attention, because you're like, it's all shit. It's all shit, and I don't care about any of it.
I'm like the critic from that the show The Critic. He sees the trailer for the thing and he's like, it stinks. That's me.
Yeah.
Every fucking new movie. But I feel like that's everyone nowadays too. They're like, oh, it stinks. There's always something not good about like current day movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that we get past that slump, because I'm like losing faith in wanting to watch anything anymore.
Well, there's also like a whole industry around manufacturing outrage content. Like, that's what algorithms do, is they serve you up content to keep you on the page longer, and the things that keep you on the page longer are things that make you angry. And so whenever a reviewer is like, oh, this trailer, look at how shit this, like, oh, look how bad the CGI is here, oh, everybody look at how bad Shrek looks, and everybody, like, people that are sane, like you and I, are like, it's fine, shut up. And
yeah, dude, I was so excited when I saw that teaser, and then I opened Twitter and everyone's like, ugh.
That's what I mean. Like, if you would open up Twitter first and not seen all of that, and like, or saw that first and then saw the teaser, you'd be like, yeah, I don't know, it still looks pretty good, but like, yeah, a lot of people are complaining about it, and you wouldn't be as excited about it as you are. Like, your reaction has been tempered by everyone else's, and that's one of the problems with spoilers, is like, that's what it does. It robs you of that 10 out of 10 excitement, because you've already been exposed to a small part of it, and people are screeching about it like fucking hyenas. It's awful.
That's another problem with current day. With when it's gonna be stupid, but like it's like The Incredibles. When everyone has opinion, then no one does.
Yeah.
Fucking that's even us right now. We're contributing to it.
Yeah.
Which it's fine. That's we're not like big or anything. We're just mostly just bullshitting online just to waste time. But everyone like there's always these bigger people that have an opinion, and then their audience will parrot that opinion no matter, even if they thought that they think they would like the product or not. They're the person that they look up to has made their choice, and if they go against it, then they'll be looked down upon by the other people. And no one wants to be treated different.
Yeah.
So they'll go on liking the thing, but not tell anyone.
Yeah. And even if you are aware enough to be like, okay, I know I've seen 3 like people on the internet talk shit about this thing, but like I'm not going to let their judgments sort of cloud mine. The fact that you've seen them at all is enough. Like whether you realize it or not, the level of like excitement and interest you have about a thing, you only really have like one shot to be interested in something the first, like from the get-go. And the more that you read and the more that like people speculate about a thing, especially if the first thing you see about it is like, oh, look at Shrek, they made him look like shit. You're like, you watch that, and even if you're like, oh no, I thought he looks kind of fine, you're still like, yeah, no, it looks okay. Like your enthusiasm about it is like a 7, whereas it could have been a 9, and you could have been like going against the trend. And even if you think like, I'm going to go against the trend, I'm going to be excited about this. Like the Minecraft movie, I'm fucking pumped about the Minecraft movie. And you know why? It's because I don't listen to jack-offs on the internet that are telling me that it's shit.
Here's the thing about the Minecraft movie. I didn't listen to anyone on the internet. I saw the trailer when it first came out, and when I first saw the production pictures, and I didn't read articles. When I open an article that talks about production, I only go to the pictures, and I look at like the pictures, and then I see set photos, and then I see the trailer, and I saw it, and I was like, I don't like the way that looks. Like, I don't like the way they made the Minecraft people look like Minecraft people, but then gave them like pupils, and then like made them look. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Hell yeah.
And Jack Black just playing Jack Black.
Hell yeah.
Which is fine sometimes, but like, so I saw this movie with my sister a while back that we thought was like a solid 5. And it was about Jack Black being Satan because a dyslexic boy wrote his Santa Claus letter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just a 5. It was just okay, but I'll never watch it again. And when me and my sister watch movies like that, we'll be like, that movie was okay. I don't think I'll watch it ever again. I don't think I will. We did that with the Terrifier movies. Everyone is so fucking stupid about the Terrifier movies. They're like, this is true horror. This is like classic and whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And my sister's like, well, I've never seen them. And everyone's like, man, they're so good. And we saw part 1, and we're like,
does it get better?
Yeah, we're like, people like this? And I'm like, okay. So then we're like, well, maybe it's the sequel. So we saw the sequel, and we're like, that was nothing. Like, that wasn't better.
Yeah.
They're like, it just like, and there's 3 out, and I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I'm like, why would I watch that? I didn't even like the first 2. Why are people so like hyped for this? It's because the main clown guy looks kind of cool. I'm like, if that's all there is, like, that's nothing. Like, why would I watch this? This is, I hate this. And I hate that people are like hyping this up because like I was hyped because it was a good opinion, and then I saw it was bad. I'm like, that goes to show you like what the internet like has now, and this goes all the way back to the that goes all the way back to what we first brought up. Everything was kind of better back then because you would hear about something in like magazines or catch like the glimpse of something on TV, and you'd know nothing about it, so you'd go in like having some expectations but like not enough, and then you made the decision on your own, and then after everyone had seen it, then you would be like, yeah, that was a great movie, yeah, this was good, or that wasn't that good. Nowadays you can't even have your own opinion because we are so connected to our fucking phones that like as soon as we hear that a movie is coming out, you're gonna go to IMDb, you're gonna see who's in the movie, who's like who's cast as who. You're gonna compare it to something else. You're gonna be like, he wasn't good in this movie, so I don't think he'd be good in that movie. Like you have your expectations are already at a 0, where back then they used to be like at a 6.
Yeah, and
before
like
you saw anything.
Even if you're not looking for it, it's like, oh, here's a YouTube short with the stars of the new movie. Here's like promo content with these people. Here's another interview. Oh, did you see this embarrassing thing happen during this interview? Wow, this person said something fucked up in this interview. Oh, now also they've got like promo like stuff that happened. Oh, on Twitch they're gonna drop, like there's gonna be drops in this game for the new movie because there's a Fortnite promo in it, and you're like,
yeah.
Damn, son.
The whole dog and pony show for movies and shows nowadays are so drawn out. It makes you like not hyped for anything.
Yeah, that's rough.
Hold on, my sister's asking me what I want.
Well, I mean, we're at the end of our show anyway, so I will tell y'all that thank you for dropping by. If you're listening to this live, you're already here, but if you are not and you want to, you can go to twitch.tv/GoGetUsPod. We go live anywhere between 0 and 2 times a week. You can also catch the audio version of this. It gets uploaded on Wednesdays. That gets uploaded Wednesday at 5 a.m. East Coast time. West Coast time, so you can listen to it on your way to work. You can also catch the VOD of this on our YouTube, youtube.com/@GoGetUsPodcast. If you want to catch the visuals of me and Fee doing our thing and me looking half blurry, then you can also listen to our shorts. We have shorts that come out every week or so, and they all kick ass. Like, all of them are good. So go and take a look at it. And yeah, that's on our youtube.com, on our YouTube at youtube.com/@GoGetUsPodcast, and our TikTok and our Instagram. So go do it.
Yeah, go do that because unlike Hollywood, you never know what you're gonna get from us. So you're always hype.
Yeah, that's right.
Not even we know what we're gonna talk about most of the time.
That's right.
That is true. Here's what I want you to do. I want y'all to get in your car and drive to Juilliard. I want you to become an actor, and I want you to be the best actor you can be, and I want you to change the industry. You're gonna be the fucking who's a big star in the 80s? The David Hasselhoff of your time. I couldn't think of anyone.
Good enough.
You're gonna be the fucking next leading star. You're gonna change Hollywood. But then there's gonna be one naysayer, and he's gonna be at the top of the corporate tower in Hollywood. And I want you to grab your sword and go get him.
Go get him! I was like, when's the crime coming? There it goes, right at the end. Got him.
It doesn't always. Is it always crime? Does it have to be crime?
Listen, you could go get someone with a sword and not kill him. You could just get him. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever that means to you.
You're committing justice. Fuck! I was stuck.
You're committing justice. Yeah, that's the verb there. When they're like, hey, this is manslaughter 2, you say, nope, it's justice. Justice 1 is what I call it. They're like, oh, okay, you're free to go, sir.
Justice One. Fucking what is it called when like you're like not gonna kill someone, but it's like you're thinking about attempted justice.
Yeah, attempted justice. That's what it was.
I didn't rob that store. I emancipated him.
Yes, I Robin Hooded it. When you think about it. Bye.
If you really